Welcome to the Recrutes postgame show. Habs win 2-1 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's a huge win, Grant. That was I was concerned at the beginning of this game. I'm not going to lie, the way things were rolling, but the Habs grind out that dirty, grindy 2-1 win that we were looking for.
Yeah, that's right. We said they needed to win 2-1 the first time they played the Leafs, and that was gritty. I think Price, even though he only faced 16 shots in the first two periods, he had to make some key saves, and the club rallied in the third. I had a feeling it was one of those nights where I never had the feeling that they were losing. I thought they might come back tonight, and Price, that was one of his biggest nights of the year so far, and so important for him to come up, so important for Deneau to step up, and those two guys are keys if Montreal wants to win the division, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I don't know that they had four lines rolling, so I don't think. And even on the broadcast, it was mentioned maybe they should start playing more of the guys that are going to start producing chances. But starting with the defense a little bit, Victor Mete back in tonight, and I liked his game. I think he actually produced one of the only really good scoring chances in the first period for the Canadiens, carrying the puck in with confidence. He looked confident overall tonight, I think, Grant, but he came in, just kind of curved his way into the zone, created an opportunity for Toffoli, who had time and space right in the slot to shoot, but he put it right into Anderson's glove. But I think overall, Mete had a good game, and it was nice to see him. We don't have to get rid of this guy so soon. That's one of the things about the taxi squad and having to rotate guys in and out. So I was happy to see Mete in the lineup again tonight.
For sure, you got to have 7 or 8 guys ready to go, because there's going to be injuries during the year on defense. It happens every year. And his speed was nice. It was a nice addition tonight. I think that they needed to be transitioning the puck a little quicker, and having more carrying the puck out of their own zone, a little more speed. And he provided that tonight. And it was a really nice addition, and nice to see that from him, because we've seen it before from him. He can be an effective defenseman when he's confident and when he's skating, and he was doing that tonight, and it was nice to see that from him.
I think he was just in a good headspace. Yeah, like it just looked like even in the tunnel before the game started, like you just had a good feeling the guys were ready. And even though I didn't think the first period, even maybe second period, they weren't really generating very much, but hey, you know what? A huge gamble tonight for Claude Julian, taking Thomas Tatar, leading scorer of the Canadiens all last season, out of this lineup. It pays off, and you know how it would have went the other way if the Habs would have lost.
Oh, definitely. I give kudos to Claude for being bold. I had mentioned in my remarks yesterday that he's not the type of coach that'll take a veteran out of the lineup, that'll make a bold move like that, and that I thought that was what was needed. So I obviously didn't disagree with the move. Didn't expect it, but I think it's a wake-up call for him. And if they come out, they play well. I think he was looking at it like he wanted to try Toffoli. He wanted to break up that Deneau line, because they haven't been clicking all year. And I thought that they needed to do that, and he did that. And then instead of keeping Toffoli on the bottom line, which really ideally isn't where you want a player like Tatar, he took him out, give him a wake-up call, have a fourth line that's going to be a little more of a typical bottom line, and it ended up paying off. And I think Tatar will come back. He'll be hungry. He'll probably play on the third line again, but he'll be a lot hungrier. He'll play more of a tight checking game that he's just got to work hard, and the points will start to come. And I think for the first time since he was a Hab, I don't know that he was working that hard. I think he was maybe gripping his stick a little too hard, thinking a little too much, and not just playing the hard game that he usually plays.
For the first couple periods, I was starting to wonder, looking at this team, just seeing the continued struggles to generate offense. The thoughts percolating in my head, is Bergie really done building this team? I know obviously he's not, because the team's going to get better if they have an opportunity to, right? But, Pierre-Luc Dubois has only got a couple of years left, or really just signed a new 2-year deal. So I just don't know that Phil Deneau, I mean, we all don't think of Phil Deneau as a number one center to begin with. He had a much better game tonight. So you're kind of like, you see the good and the bad, and you're just like, do they risk going for a player like Dubois again sometime in the future? Or, where do you think the Canadiens, at least down the middle, or even, I don't know, you just tell me, where do you think they need the most improvement when they're not able to generate offense? Because something still seems to be missing when they're not able to generate.
Cole Caulfield, do you recall that conversation?
I do a little bit. I do recall that.
I still think centermen are going to get a lot better when they've got a pure goal scorer playing with them.
So he's the answer in your mind?
All of a sudden, Deneau was better when he had a pure goal scorer to set up tonight. He got a beautiful assist. If that would have been a pass to Lehkonen, they'd probably still be waiting for it to hit the net. It's so. I mean, it's part relative that the centermen need the horses to. I mean, you go through ebbs and flows, and 4 or 5 games ago we were lauding the center, Kotkaniemi and especially Suzuki and Evans. They go through a little bit of a lull. Hey, we need a centerman. I mean, they're young and there's going to be growing pains still. There's going to be periods where they aren't playing that great. Tonight, I thought Suzuki, he was every bit as good as Matthews or Tavares. And Deneau, after a shaky first period, the giveaway, and everyone's, it's really starting to pile up. They're really starting to pile on Deneau. Did you notice that on Twitter and stuff? I was on, and he was.
I tried to stay off Twitter tonight.
Even, of course, I can't. Sorry, I can't resist making a little remark myself, and I did. But hey, he came through. So I can't. I got to give him some credit for that.
It was a full 60 from the Canadiens, I think. I mean, I know that they weren't generating a lot, but, I didn't mind at the end of the day a tight-checking, low-scoring game like this. This is kind of what they needed, and especially a win against the darn Leafs, man. Like, they needed that one so desperately. They're off for the next 6 days. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about the face-off circle tonight, because Kotkaniemi has been under scrutiny for his face-offs. Suzuki really struggled tonight, but Kotkaniemi was really good. Deneau was about 50%, and Jake Evans was so-so. But I like seeing KK improve in the face-off circle. That's a massive part of his game that he needed improvement in.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, KK was excellent tonight, and I believe Evans was 100%. So that was pretty good. So.
Okay, 100% so pretty good. Yep.
But can't wait till he's good. Maybe 200% in the face-off. That was a really good performance by KK in the face-off circle. I thought he had a good game today. Working hard, and he's not playing with offensive guys. It's you feel a little sorry for him at times in his career so far, that he usually gets stuck with the Finns that have never scored 20 goals in their life, and it's still a growing period for him. I think they're still bringing him along right, and it's patience. It's got to be patient with him, and maybe if Suzuki and Kotkaniemi can step up like they did last playoff, maybe they will be all right this playoff. They're going to be a year older. We have to be patient. We got to hope that they keep improving the rest of the year, and we got to hope that they can do it, because I don't see Bergevin messing with those two and bringing in another guy. I think that they're gonna sink or swim with those guys going forward, and so we just gotta hope he can fortify the wings enough, give them enough. They might need another puck moving defenseman too. You never know. He might be looking at something like that. as well, even though there's a lot in the pipeline. Wouldn't be surprised if they got another guy that could help out on the power play on the point.
Well, we did not discuss this prior to our recording here tonight, but you've had the chance to see the Laval Rocket play their first couple of games here. Anybody catching your eye, either defensively as a puck moving defenseman, or anybody on forward that really stuck out to you really early here?
Oh well, there's been a few because they stomped the Senators there 5-1, 5-1. Number 11, 5'9", number 11 playing for them. I call him Gallagher there. He's looked pretty good. Rookie Quebecois 5'9" guy that plays a Gallagher kind of style, and Harvey Pinard there. He's a good little player, but Yonan wasn't as good today. But yesterday, his first game, he looked amazing. He looked like he could play in the NHL. Certainly, Cale Fleury. He's too good for the AHL. I think he's just his poise and confidence. He looks like He looks.
Do you see him as being? Do you see him as being kind of a puck mover, or he's more of a physical, sort of good in his own end kind of player? Because I think he's got some different dimensions to his game that he showed on the Canadiens the last couple of years. A physical element was very apparent, but as a puck mover, like where would you see him slotting in with the Canadiens at some point? Would it have to wait for an injury, or where do you see him fitting in?
I don't think he's a great puck mover at this point, but he's still, I believe, 21, and he's only getting better. As he gains more confidence at the NHL level, he's a good puck mover in the AHL. He was excellent those two games. Whether that will translate right to the NHL right now, he might need another year or two before he's at least an average to above average puck mover, but I think he will be. And physical, good mobility, competes hard. A smart defenseman. Yeah, I think he can be a really, really solid third pairing defenseman.
Well, if anything, I mean, I bring that up because we have 6 days off where the Canadiens won't be playing. So on this new YouTube channel and also on the Recrutes website, folks are maybe going to be seeing a bit more Laval Rocket coverage, and they should expect that from Grant here with Recrutes. You can check out post-game, interviews with Joel Bouchard and players as things go forward. But we'll touch back on the Canadiens game tonight, Grant. Tyler Toffoli getting the tying goal for the Canadiens, which then led to Gallagher's almost questionable high stick on the winning goal. But my gosh, what a beautiful goal it ended up being, high sticking it down to himself and then roofing it. That was just a pure Gallagher. It was beautiful.
Yeah, if that would have been Michael McCarron, at shoulder height or whatever, that was waved off. But I think, anytime it's around the shoulder of a guy the height of Gallagher, they kind of give him the benefit of the doubt. It was pretty close for sure. But it was nice to see one of those calls, go the Canadiens' way. I was glad that the Leafs didn't challenge it, because it just seems like you never know when it goes upstairs in Toronto. But yeah, it was a terrific play by Gallagher. He was hungry that whole third period. You could just see that he really wanted to win. And Drew and Suzuki, it was funny, we touched on them not really seem to be goal hungry. And even though they didn't score tonight, I thought both of them were really strong around the net. Drew, I haven't seen him that hungry to score a goal in a long time. And you had touched on him being good against the Leafs. Well, I thought he was very good.
It's still early in the season, right? And that's the thing, is we're only about 12, 13 games in. My math isn't really showing up right at the moment, but the Canadiens have 9 wins. I think it's 3 losses. So 13, 15 games or so. I mean, it's still going to take maybe half a season for these lines to really solidify their chemistry. That's just the way hockey goes. So do you think that the way the last few games have been going in terms of the shutdown in offense and sort of the drying up of the offense, that we're overreacting maybe as fans to this lineup? I mean, like we mentioned earlier, we may not be seeing a lot of additions from Bergie, especially at this trade deadline. And a guy like Thomas Tatar out of the lineup tonight. when you reinsert him, he's got to be hungry as heck when he comes back in.
Yeah. I think Cole Caulfield will be hungry as heck when he gets in the lineup.
You love you love Cole. You mentioned it before. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now let's quickly touch on it.
There's your trade deadline acquisition right there.
So it's Caulfield. Okay, so let's just throw it out there then. I proposed this question on my own YouTube channel also. Where do you see Cole Caulfield slotting into this Canadiens lineup? Because right now this is the roster. So who's coming out of the lineup? Where do you see him fitting in?
Oh well, Perry or Byron or Mete, take your pick. You know, he's better than all three of those guys right now, as far as I'm concerned. So I don't think it's difficult to slot him into the lineup. And there's some kids in Vedemo. He's looked excellent for, he's got 2 goals and an assist, 6'3", swift skating centerman. If Evans doesn't, I think he's gone 10 games now without a point. That goes another 10, 15 games. Maybe Vedemo comes in, Evans is slid over to the wing. There's two moves right there where you're adding to the lineup and improving it possibly. It's early in the season. Laval looks good. There's probably going to be some guys that they're going to get looks, and they might help the team too. So there can be there's enough options within the organization now to help the team, where in the past maybe you were bringing up like Byron Phrases and guys like that Michael Chaput, that didn't excite you, and I think it's changed. They're getting more and more depth because of all the high picks that are starting to develop, and I think they can help within the organization, especially if they sign Cole Caulfield.
Absolutely. Well, Grant, we'll wrap it up for this one, but it seems like Caulfield is the deadline transaction you are just believing is imminent for the Canadiens, and I hope you're right. So, we'll be back with more coverage, folks. Thanks for tuning in for tonight's post-game episode. Between now and next Saturday, we're going to be talking some Laval Rocket, still talking some Habs, but thanks for tuning in and checking out this new post-game show as Grant and I get this thing going on the Recrutes website and also on our YouTube channel. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, the new channel we just created as of today, and we appreciate the support. We'll talk to you guys soon.